You won't believe what Caitlin Clark just did. After weeks of people guessing, she finally dropped the bomb about her WNBA future. And let me tell you, it's not just big, it's game-changing for women's basketball. On October 2nd, 2024, Clark hit Instagram with her announcement, and the basketball world went crazy. But that's just the beginning. Let's talk about Clark's rookie season. It's insane. She broke 62 records. Yeah, you heard that right. 62. She was putting up numbers like 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. That's not a rookie. That's a superstar. You know what's even crazier? Clark didn't just shine. She turned the whole Indiana Fever team around. They went from struggling to a 20-win season and made the playoffs for the first time since 2015. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Clark faced some real challenges, and her impact on the WNBA? Well, that's a whole other story we're about to get into. Clark's journey from college star to WNBA sensation is like a basketball fairy tale come true. Remember those 62 records she broke as a rookie? That was just the beginning. But her path to stardom wasn't always smooth sailing. What happened in Clark's rookie season that transformed her from a hesitant newcomer to a WNBA sensation? The answer lies in a clutch moment that had everyone buzzed. Let's rewind a bit. Clark's college career at Iowa was nothing short of legendary. She was an All-American and even set the NCAA scoring record. But when it came time to make the big decision, Clark didn't hesitate. She announced, "While this season is far from over and we have a lot more goals to achieve, it will be my last one at Iowa. I am excited to be entering the 2024 WNBA draft." The basketball world went wild. Everyone was waiting to see how Clark would perform in the pros. And let me tell you, she didn't disappoint. The Indiana Fever snagged her as the #1 overall pick. And Clark called it a dream I've had since I was in 2nd grade. But here's where things get really interesting. Clark's first WNBA win wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Picture this. The Fever are up against the Los Angeles Sparks. Clark's got 11 points and 10 rebounds, but she's not done. With the game on the line, she steps up and nails 2 clutch three-pointers. One of them, a ridiculous 33-footer that had the crowd going nuts. That game wasn't just a win for Clark and the Fever. It was the moment everyone realized we were watching something special. People started throwing around some big names. We're talking Larry Bird and Michael Jordan level comparison. Why? Because Clark wasn't just scoring, she was changing the game. What makes Clark so special? It's not just her scoring ability. Although averaging 32.2 points per game in her final college season is pretty insane, it's her whole package. We're talking 7.4 rebounds, 8.7 assists, and 1.7 steals per game. Oh, and did I mention she was dropping 5.4 three-pointers per game? That's not just good. That's video game number. But it's more than just stats with Clark. It's the way she sees the court. Her vision is next level. She's not just making plays for herself, she's making everyone around her better. And when the pressure's on, that's when Clark shines brightest. She's got that clutch gene that you can't teach. One analyst put it perfect. Clark is way better way sooner than anybody thought. And that's saying something, considering how much hype she had coming into the league. But Clark isn't just living up to expectations. She's blowing them out of the water. Think about it. How many rookies come into the WNBA and immediately start drawing comparisons to all-time greats? How many can single-handedly turn a struggling franchise into a playoff contender? That's the Caitlin Clark effect. Speaking of the Caitlin Clark effect, it's not just about her play, it's about the entire WNBA landscape shift. Remember when people said women's basketball couldn't draw big crowds? Clark just blew that idea out of the water, and the numbers, they're insane. Let's talk about viewers. Clark's rookie season wasn't just good, it was record-breaking. Get this, 21 broadcasts pulled in over 1 million viewers each. That's not just a win for Clark, that's a win for the entire WNBA. We're talking about a level of attention that women's basketball hasn't seen in years. But it's not just about TV numbers. The Indiana Fever went from being one of the teams with the lowest attendance to packing the house. We're talking an average of 17,000 fans per home game. That's a complete 180. Imagine going from empty seats to a roaring crowd. That's the Clark effect in action. And you know what's even crazier? Clark's impact isn't just on the court. She's become a cultural icon. How many WNBA rookies do you know with 2.9 million Instagram followers? That's not just athlete popularity, that's influencer territory. Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's changing the conversation around women's sport. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a WNBA player on billboards, in commercials, all over social media? Clark's not just a basketball player, she's a brand. And that brand is bringing attention to women's basketball like never before. But here's here's the real game changer. Clark's success isn't just about her. It's opening doors for the entire league. More viewers mean more sponsorships. More fans in seats mean more revenue. And more attention means more opportunities for every player in the WNBA. You know who gets it? WNBA legend Tamika Catchings. She said Clark has rejuvenated not just the Fever, but the entire league. Catchings even compared Clark's impact to how Magic Johnson and Larry Bird transformed the NBA. That's not just hype, that's recognizing a real shift in the game. And it's not just the old guard taking notice. Nancy Lieberman, another basketball legend, put it perfectly. What Caitlin Clark has done for the game is generational. We're not just talking about a great rookie season. We're talking about someone who's changing the entire landscape of women's basketball. Want proof? Look at the playoffs. Clark's playoff debut averaged 1.84 million viewers. That's the highest for any WNBA playoff game since the 2000 final. Think about that. A rookie is pulling in viewing numbers that the league hasn't seen in over 2 decades. But here's the thing. Clark's impact goes beyond just this season. She's setting a new standard. She's showing young girls everywhere that they can dream big in basketball. She's proving that women's sports can draw just as much excitement and attention as men. You think Caitlin Clark's journey was all smooth sailing? Think again. Her rookie season was a roller coaster of highs and lows that'll make your head spin. Remember that eye poke incident in the playoffs? That's just scratching the surface of what Clark had to overcome. Let's talk about the intense scrutiny Clark faced. It wasn't just about her game-changing plays or record-breaking stats. She was under a microscope, and every move she made was analyzed to death. The pressure was insane. But Clark? She didn't crack. She stepped up. But here's where things get wild. Clark wasn't just getting fouls called on her. She was getting an insane amount of them. We're talking 177% of all flagrant fouls in the league. That's not just a few bad calls, that's a pattern. It raised some serious questions about player safety and how the refs were handling the game. Now, you might think all this drama would throw Clark off her game. But that's not how she rolled. Instead of getting caught up in the controversy, Clark kept her focus laser sharp. She didn't let the noise distract her from what really mattered, playing her heart out on the court. And you know what's even more impressive? Clark didn't just power through on her own. She leaned on her teammates, forming a dynamic trio with Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. These three aren't just playing together. They're reshaping the entire future of the Fever. Think about it. You've got Clark, the rookie sensation. Then there's Boston, the 2023 Rookie of the Year. And don't forget Mitchell, an all-star in her own right. That's not just a good lineup. That's a recipe for domination. Clark gets it too. She said, "I always remind myself, this is a team sport, and I have a lot of people to rely on." That's the kind of attitude that turns good players into legends. Looking ahead to Clark's sophomore season, expectations are through the roof. But here's the thing, Clark's not just trying to meet expectations, she's aiming to shatter them. The Fever's got a core that could dominate the league for years to come. And Clark's right at the center of it all. You want to know how serious the Fever are about their future with Clark? Listen to this. The future is red hot, the future is Fever. That's not just a catchy slogan, it's a promise that with Clark leading the charge, the Fever are going to be a force to be reckoned with. But it's not just about the Fever. Clark's impact is bigger than one team. She's redefining what it means to be a WNBA player. She's setting new standards, raising the bar for everyone in the league, and she's doing it all while inspiring a whole new generation of players. All right, let's wrap this up. Caitlin Clark's journey from college superstar to WNBA sensation is nothing short of incredible. She's not just changing the game, she's redefining it. From breaking records to boosting viewership, Clark's impact is massive. But here's the thing, Clark's not done yet. She's just getting started. Her decision to stick with the Indiana Fever, that's huge. It shows she's committed to building something special. And with teammates like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever's future looking red hot. Clark's not just inspiring her teammates though, she's inspiring a whole new generation of players. She's proving that women's basketball can be just as exciting and popular as men's, and that's a game changer. So what's next for Caitlin Clark? Will she continue to redefine what's possible in the WNBA? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be one heck of a ride.